right, let's get started. Good morning officially, and welcome to our Mind the Moment Thursday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I am here as always on Thursdays with Tara Healey. Actually, not as always. Last Thursday, I was not here, but we're happy to be back together. Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim Mindfulness Program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody joining.
Yes, it's so nice to have everyone here. And Tara will start us off with a question this morning, which I think we'll all enjoy connecting in that way. And then she'll lead us in a guided practice, and we'll have an opportunity for chat and discussion. And if anything comes up in your mind as a question that you might have, please feel free to type it in the chat at any time. And I also want to welcome any new folks that have joined us this morning. We're really happy to have you and to see you virtually through Zoom. So, and to remind everybody, we are here on Wednesdays as well. We're doing a new Wednesday session at 8:30, which is in a Zoom meeting format with visual opportunities to see one another and speak directly to one another, which has been going great, by the way. So Tara, how do you want to start this morning?
Yeah, thanks, Suzanne. As always, thank you for that great opening. So this morning, Suzanne and I, we always get on a little bit early, and we were just chatting and talking about Thich Nhat Hanh, who, the great Vietnamese Zen master who very recently passed away. And in the session yesterday on Wednesday morning, we also talked about Thich Nhat Hanh, or Thai, as many of you probably know, he was affectionately known by Thai, which means teacher. And he talked a lot about interconnectedness. And so Suzanne and I were talking a bit about that this morning, and it really led us to talking about many of the people who are working in service-oriented jobs, who are supporting all of us, whether that's, in a restaurant or at the grocery store or Amazon delivery, but that the amount of stress and pain that many of the folks in service-oriented jobs are feeling these days. And so I thought, in recognition and in honor of Thai and his, one of the things he would talk about quite a lot is that when something arrives at our door, there are so many different steps that went into that arriving to your door. And so as we think about some of the people who are in these roles in this time that we're in, what word or phrase comes to mind about those individuals, and what word would you offer them for their well-being? And this all started, this kind of conversation and question started as Suzanne was talking about being in the grocery store this morning, and just how stressed some of the folks in there were. And so what word or phrase would you like to offer those who support us? And Suzanne, so go ahead and, you can start to fill up the chat, and Suzanne, I'll have you start.
I agree with a lot of the folks that are offering gratitude, but I also want to offer them rest so that they get an opportunity to rest, because many of them, and this one person in particular, are working hours that are very atypical. So just want to offer that they have some time to rest. And how about you, Tara? What might you offer?
Yeah, I mean, gratitude is the first word that kind of pops into my head. And, there's so many things that sort of cross my mind around equity and diversity and inclusion. And I think that I think, recognition of, that so much goes into anything that I have in my house. There are so many steps behind that, and just I feel like the degree of gratitude that I have for that. And for the mail carriers in my neighborhood, often thinking about all the different kind of conditions that they are out in. So, and I really want to dedicate our practice this morning to all of those who serve us in different roles. And we'll start with a settling practice, and then move into loving kindness for ourselves. And then for that particular worker, it could be, you could think of them collectively, or you could think of an individual, someone who you see on a regular basis, but don't necessarily interact with. So let's see.
No, I think that's I appreciate it, because this particular person I really wanted to do something for. So you matter, resilience, appreciation, healing, be safe, smile, and what they're doing is so important.
Yes.
Dignity. And someone's mentioned about appreciation for the trucking industry. I mean, that having to sleep in your truck and these kinds of things, you don't see your family. I see you.
This is great. And so we'll dedicate our practice this morning to all of those seen and unseen that help us to keep our lives going, that keep us comfortable. But we'll start with the insight, mindfulness, just kind of settling practice, and then I'll move us into loving kindness. We'll start with loving kindness and well-being for ourselves, and then we will extend that to you could do it collectively, or there could be one person that you offer it to. All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So go ahead and settle into the posture that feels like it's going to best serve you this morning. Typically, the two best would be you could do standing practice or sitting, whatever feels like you're going to be most wakeful and engaged in. And as always, eyes can be open or closed. And if you decide to keep your eyes open, just gaze downward a little bit. And let's go ahead and begin with 2 deep breaths and make that exhalation double the length of the inhalation. And do those on your own, because we all breathe in different ways. So 2 deep breaths, exhalation double the length of the inhalation. And we'll do this as a way to just settle any surface tension. And surrendering your weight into the posture that you've chosen, whether seated or standing, and feel the support of the earth beneath you. So know that you can surrender into the support, and be sure to maintain a spine that is straight but not stiff. And as you are sitting or standing, just kind of notice the physical expressions in your body from the activity so far this morning. Perhaps you got up really early and started your day, or even more recent. But either way, there's always kind of a reverberation from movement and engagement in the body. So take a minute to just feel the physical sensations of that activity. Just receiving. So receptive, curious, open. Perhaps you're noticing pulsing or vibration, even just the points of contact with the body and the surface, just aware of those touch points and what that actually feels like, as opposed to thinking about it, but just the feeling. What do you notice? And take a moment to expand your awareness to include sound in the room that you're in, or perhaps outside of the room. And again, with that receptive attitude in the mind, receiving sound without labeling what's making it, just receiving sound. And allowing sound to remain in the background as it will. Begin to narrow the focus of attention, bringing the sense of awareness back into the body. And I'll kind of sweep us through the various regions of the body. So let's bring our attention to the very top of the head. And we're just simply, as we move through these regions, noticing sensation or lack of sensation and softening to the degree that you can. So moving awareness down over the sides of the head, including the ears and the back of the head, and just noticing what's there. Bringing awareness to the face, the many small muscles in the face, seeing if you can soften the forehead and the eyes, the jaw, the cheeks, the mouth, the tongue. Aware of sensation or lack of sensation, softening and smoothing to the degree that you can. And moving awareness down over the neck. And almost thinking of awareness like warm water coming down now over the top of the shoulders. And flowing down the upper arms, the forearms, the hands. And aware of sensation, lack of sensation, and allowing, inviting, softening. And bringing awareness to the torso, so the front of the body and the back of the body. Moving awareness down over the hips and thighs, the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. Softening and noticing sensation or lack of sensation. And releasing that and bringing attention to the rhythm of your breath. So bringing your awareness to the rhythm of the inhalation and the exhalation, and however you're breathing is fine. So you don't have to change it or make it different. And let the wisdom of the body guide the breath. And if for any reason breath is a little tricky for you this morning, you could take the palms of your hands and rest them on a table in front of you, or rest them on your thighs, and let that point of contact be your anchor. So thoughts are going to come and go. We're not trying to stop thought. We're tracking the sensations we're noticing, either with breath or something else. And as thoughts come and go, we just simply note, oh, thinking, soften, and return to your anchor. So I'll be silent for the next couple of minutes. And thoughts are not a problem. They're going to slip in unnoticed, and then you will notice. And simply make a soft mental note, thinking. Not a problem. Soften the body and return to whatever you're using to help stabilize and anchor your attention. We just do this over and over and over. It's like a mental push-up. And noticing where the mind is. And using this as an opportunity to shift into loving kindness or friendliness practice. And we'll go ahead and start with ourselves, but if we're finding it difficult to offer well-being to ourselves, you could bring to mind a pet or someone who has been helpful to you in some way, a relationship that's really easy and that this person has been a supportive person in your life, whether that's a family member, a friend, or a teacher, a mentor. So you're welcome to start with yourself or with, and the phrases I'll use will be, may I, but you could substitute if it feels challenging for you this morning. So may I be peaceful and at ease. And may my heart be soft and open. May I be safe and protected. And my body healthy and strong. So may I be peaceful and at ease. My heart soft and open. And may I be safe and protected. And my body healthy and strong. So just kind of sit with that for a moment, that sense of well-being that you're offering yourself or another. And see if you can notice what happens in the body. So not looking for anything in particular, but just feeling the, however that's impacting the body. And now go ahead and bring to mind someone who has served you in some way, whether that's the grocery store or mail delivery or a restaurant. And think of if possible, of a person that maybe you see on somewhat of a regular basis, but don't necessarily interact with or interact very minimally. So you might have a little bit of chit chat, a little bit of interaction, but not much. Someone you don't know much about, but who is supporting you in some way. So call them, and you could also just kind of collectively, if there's not one person coming to mind, think of those who keep our lives going with the food that we eat and with the mail that we receive and the heating and the plumbing and all of the things that allow for us to live comfortably. So may this person be peaceful and at ease. May their heart be soft and open. May they be safe and protected. And their bodies healthy and strong. And holding the image of this person or collectively, may they be peaceful and at ease. May their heart be soft and open. May they be safe and protected. And their bodies healthy and strong. Just feel that practice in your body for a minute, just kind of scanning through the body, seeing what you notice. Not looking for anything in particular, but just feel the impact of those well wishes for yourself or for somebody who's close to you that's easy to offer, for those who provide service for us in some way, shape, or form. Then let's bring this meditation to a close and offer well-being to everyone, everywhere, really. So may the merit of our practice be for the benefit of all beings. And I'll come back from 3 to 1. So 3, 2, and 1. If your eyes were closed, you can open and take a minute to just, as I often say, just take a minute to kind of look around, take in your surroundings, reorient to where you are. Take a stretch. You know, I was reminded yesterday of how much we rely on people too. I had a plumbing issue in my house, and when I called the plumber, they said they're on a heating emergency. And I just thought, you know, again, like, and they wound up coming and taking care of the issue and everything. And then I just was like, oh, so nice to have my plumbing back, you know, and yeah, so I'm really grateful to do this practice with all of you today, and to, you know, that, I mean, I feel like a little bit like I just took it for granted, you know, that they'd be there and they would help. And there was somebody else with something going on. And yeah, so would love to hear from folks. Any thoughts or images come to mind that you want to share, or questions you want to ask, or comments you want to make, of course, anything.
Yeah, I had a special feeling about this practice this morning because, you know, the loving kindness practice has probably been around for a very long time, but it has such a different meaning now: safe and protected, healthy and strong.
Yes.
You know, it's
yeah, you know, in the midst of a pandemic, it does yeah. And it's got really good science behind it, because I think that it can feel light fluff, or, you know, and you know, it's honestly not. There's a lot of what we incline our minds toward, we train. So we know that through neuroscience for sure. I mean,
yeah. Kristen's mentioning that tried this with my eyes open and struggled to stay connected.
yeah.
Are there some meditations that are more conducive to eyes open?
It really, yeah, it's a personal thing. And one of my teachers from Insight Meditation, Mioshin Kelly, after practicing for years with eyes closed, switched her practice to open eye practice. And it took a little bit of getting used to, but that, and I haven't talked to her about this in a while, but it was really beneficial. So there isn't a right way. That's what's, I think, most important. And I also think just in these practices in general, it's a bit of trial and error, you know, and there might be times where eyes open feels like it's just going to work best for you. And other times where I think, you know, sometimes, well, I was going to say, if the mind's super busy, to remove the distraction around you could be helpful. But I think if you are gazing out, and that could be, I don't know, there isn't really an answer. I would say it just depends, and to try different ways.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Tara, I know this is a different type of meditation,
Yeah.
but walking meditation
Yes,
might be more helpful, or even just doing yoga. Because
and bringing mindful awareness to postures and the change of postures. Yeah, so you absolutely. I think especially, you know, with anxiety too, any kind of movement practice would be is a good option. Yeah. But there's a lot coming in. Let's see. Yeah, the images of like kind of warm water. Yeah, there is something I think nice about that. Hidden brain, dealing with the open-ended pandemic being challenged. Yeah. So just doing more activities will flow that make the time go faster.
And I wonder, Loretta, when they mentioned about more activities with flow, what was that?
Yeah.
I'll have to check out the Hidden Brain episode.
Yeah, I have that podcast too. So, and always we can use this community to check in with each other and share resources. So yeah, Hidden Brain's a really good podcast. So anything that folks have been reading lately or listening to, that could be music as well. One thing, I've just been noticing bird sounds, kind of winter bird sounds. And just yesterday, I realized like how comforting that feels to me to hear bird song. And there's an endangered bird recording that has been like making the charts like above Taylor Swift, like and I can't recall the name of it, but I really want to get it. And I think it was done in Australia. If anybody knows what I'm talking about or has heard that, please go ahead and put it in the chat. But it's just bird songs of endangered species. And let's see if anybody.
And maybe that would help. Also having some type of sound when you're mentioning about having your eyes open.
Yes.
That, Kristen, that might help as well as having something like that. The bird song in the background could help you focus as well a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, and you can, it's okay to use sound too. It's okay. Yeah. Well, we had a really a big group today. That's awesome. Thank you all so much for coming and sharing and just practicing together. It can be a lonely practice, and it's nice to be here with all of you. And don't forget about Wednesdays, because that's new and cameras are optional, which, I joined yesterday and put my camera on. Just nice to see people. So, we have 3 days, 8:30 to 9, Wednesdays, more engagement, interaction. So
thank you to everyone. Thank you to Tara for a great topic. I really feel like that was, I appreciate it just because I had that feeling this morning. So
yeah, you did. And I think with Thich Nhat Hanh's passing, like I find his message so comforting that matter cannot be destroyed. I mean, we know that through physics too, right? That he continues to exist in the clouds and the rain and that it's like, so it's really good stuff.
I will share the link before we
okay.
jump off. I'll share the link for Wednesday. So everybody has that. Thank you for asking that. And
Tim Janis, relaxing nature music. Great. Good.
There we go.
Check out the endangered bird calls.
Tim Janis, relaxing nature music.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note of that.
And again, for the link, just click on that link and it'll take you, and then you can copy and paste it from your browser.
And Harvard Pilgrim, you could go to harvardpilgrim.org/MindtheMoment, and then boom, it'll just, all three will pop up.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.